Hi everyone! So if you watched my Japan haul, you know that I have been dying to show you guys the HAKUHODO brushes that I bought there. I went to the HAKUHODO Flagship store and I made a nice brush purchase and got some brushes there. And I actually got to film inside the store and I'm going to show you those clips now. Brush shopping at HAKUHODO. That was one of the stores that I definitely wanted to try or wanted to go to here in Japan. I don't think the prices are any cheaper here in Japan, to be honest. So if you order them online from the US website, I think it's the same prices. But of course, this is the flagship store in Kyoto. So if you ever come to Kyoto, you have to come here because they have every single brush that they make, and it's a really, really nice store. So they do actually have a store apparently in Tokyo. Basically what I understood is that the store in Tokyo is quite small in comparison to the flagship store obviously in Kyoto. So if you do go to Kyoto, I would definitely go check out HAKUHODO because they have every single brush they make, and they also have the different handle lengths because their brushes do come, I think, in 2 or 3 sizes. I'm not quite sure, but I wanted the long handled brushes. Their brushes are so high quality. Seriously, in my opinion, they are the best makeup brushes that exist. This company specializes only in brushes. So they have a big history of making brushes, and that's all they make is brushes. They make some calligraphy brushes, they even make some traditional geisha brushes. So I got these 5 brushes. They're just the softest makeup brushes that you can find. You know, if you're looking for something super soft and luxurious, this is the way to go, in my opinion. Luxury makeup brushes. So, you know, they do cost a certain amount, but if you think of how they're made in Japan. They're not made in a sweatshop in Indonesia or Bangladesh. You know that the people who are making these brushes, they're all handcrafted, and you know that they're having a good standard of living there. And so that's something that's increasingly becoming important to me, especially because nowadays so many makeup companies are choosing to produce their products in cheap Asian countries. The quality is just unparalleled. I'm not just saying that, like, I don't have any brushes that are softer, that are better quality. Each brush is hand bound. So what you can find with sort of more traditional makeup brushes, basically they put the hair together and they don't take the best quality hair. So they just put it in, and then they usually like put it through a machine or something to get the desired shape that they want. You can tell they've just been cut on the top. Or what's really different about these brushes is that each hair on these brushes is placed there by the actual person making this brush. So they gather it in their hand until it's in the exact shape that they want. So the ends of the hair of these brushes are not cut. And that's what makes them so super soft, because the ends of the hair are exactly as you would find them on whatever animal hair they're from. So these are natural hair brushes. These are not synthetic brushes. I'm actually not sure if they make any synthetic brushes. They might have a few that are synthetic or synthetic mix. I'm not sure about that. You'll have to check. With these brushes, I just don't get the same result with synthetic. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. I just don't get the same result. I don't get the same
application. I don't get the same feeling. Now, I think this one was the most expensive. Honestly, I don't have the prices in the back of my head, but I honestly didn't even care. I just went in there. I knew I was going to buy brushes. I know what they cost, and so I was prepared for it. But these are sort of more luxurious, high-end, expensive brushes. You know, if you are someone who wants to invest in a luxurious brush that you're going to have for a really long time, and you just love makeup brushes, then these are absolutely worth it because they are just the best quality. The J104 brush, and this is a goat hair brush. And you can see with like different types of hair that they have different levels of quality. Like if I compare this as a goat hair to some other goat hair brushes that I have, like this is just so much better than other goat hair brushes I have. Like this is just a powder brush. I wanted just something really fluffy and that I could just use to apply quickly powder all over my face if I wanted to go for a matte look or if I just wanted to dust something really quickly. And like it is just so soft, and the fact that it's so soft to me also means that it's not going to apply like the powder very cakily, you know what I mean? It's not going to just like cake it on. And this is the B505, and I did get them all in the long handle version. So this brush is, you can see it's kind of like two-tone colors there, and that is because it's a mix of hair. And this is a mix of goat hair and I believe blue squirrel. And what I love about this is that HAKUHODO no longer dyes their brushes. So I have another brush from HAKUHODO that I got a while back, like years and years ago. And this is actually also goat hair, but they have colored it black. And when I went into the store, I saw this brush, except it was white. And I was like, oh, well, what's the difference? And they said, the lady told me that they no longer color the hair because it changes, you know, it does change the texture if you're coloring it. And also, you know, the color will fade. Although this one hasn't really faded much. There are some hairs that are looking more grayish. It doesn't bleed or anything. They no longer dye their hair. And honestly, I much prefer that. I feel like this is just such a gorgeous color anyway with this natural hair. And this is just the softest brush. Again, this is, I'm going to use this as a blush brush. And I love the shape of this because it's kind of a little bit thinner here, but then it's sort of wider on the front. It's a good medium size. There were bigger ones, but I felt like this one was the perfect size for blush on my cheeks. Like it's not too big. Love this brush. Like I just wish you could feel how soft this is because it is just incredible. And this is the B5521. And this is the same kind of mix as that blush brush I just showed you. So it is goat hair and blue squirrel. I'm going to use that mainly as an under eye concealer setting brush. So you can use this, well, I plan to use this to get the powder and then I set it underneath my eye because I feel like I can really get up in there and just apply the powder perfectly. Because I have been using a similar brush like this from another brand and it's just, there's no comparing. It's just so scratchy, that brush that I have, and the hair keeps like breaking, and it's just, you know, like with the cheaper brushes, sometimes like the hair, you'll find like hair on your face and it's so annoying. And with this one, you don't have that. Like these almost don't lose hair. It's crazy. And it's just incredible. You can also use this for highlighting. She was actually saying that this is actually a highlighting brush. So you can use that for highlighting. And I have used it that way also, so it's kind of a multi-purpose. Now this one, unfortunately, doesn't have the number here, which is kind of strange because all the other ones do. But this brush here is also a highlighting brush, and it is with goat hair. And so yeah, I've been using this as a highlighter brush. I used that today to apply my highlighter because I have a brush similar like this from Zoeva, and I have been using it a lot for highlighting. And I always think if you use something all the time, it's worth it to invest a little bit more money into it because, you know, then you're really going to get your money's worth if it's something that you use a lot. And this is the B142, and it looks like that. And this one is also a goat hair brush. This one I already used it, so it's a little bit, you can see the discoloration on the top because I was using it with some eyeshadow. And it's a great blending brush, and it has a little bit more resistance, so I feel like this one would be great to like blend and buff out color when you've applied too much. You know, I honestly probably didn't need this. I have so many blending brushes already and good blending brushes, but I just felt like I had to have it. And also these types of brushes, like the smaller sort of regular eyeshadow brushes, are quite affordable from HAKUHODO. Like I don't think they're, you know, outrageously expensive. The ones where it does start to get very pricey are these kind of big bigger brushes, like especially bigger powder brushes and stuff. This one I think was the most expensive, and then this one. But I just feel like with the bigger ones, you just really get to feel the difference the most. I mean, yeah, sure, this is a great brush too, but you just can feel the difference the most on these sort of bigger brushes, because you can really, you know, get into the hair, and oh, they're just beautiful. Well, you shouldn't wash them too frequently because this is such high quality hair. You don't want to be washing these after every use. And she told me the best way is to just like tap it like this against your hand or something after you've used it. Or what I like to do is I just get like a clean bit of paper towel or like a towel or whatever, and then you just go like this, and that gets honestly most of the powder out. If you're just going to be using it on yourself, you know, then it's fine. Don't worry too much. Like this one I've owned many years, and I have washed this, and this is a really expensive brush by HAKUHODO because it has this vermilion handle. This is the S103. It now has white goat hair on the top. It's gold plated. And I have washed this many times, and it's still in great condition. So you don't have to be super careful with them, just something you want to think about. The other thing that I just love about this brand is that they dry almost in this exact shape when you wash them. So you know how when sometimes you wash like sort of more cheaper quality natural hair bristle brushes, then when you dry them, they just totally lose their shape. Like they kind of just bounce out, and the hair will be kind of splayed and stuff like that. And with this one, definitely you won't have those issues. They dry in the exact same shape basically as when you purchase them, which is just amazing. You know, like this one, I wash it and I don't put anything around it, and look at how perfect the shape is, and it's not splayed or anything. And I honestly feel that these are the best makeup brushes in the world. If that is something you value, then I definitely recommend these brushes. This is not a sponsored video. I just want to make sure that you realize that I love this brand so much, and I honestly wish I could just buy every single brush that they own. I think HAKUHODO actually started out, the first brushes they made were Japanese calligraphy brushes, and then later they started producing makeup brushes, and now they also produce brushes for other companies. I do know that they still produce some brushes, some makeup brushes for MAC Cosmetics. They also produce for other higher end brands. The brushes that they produce for other companies, honestly, are not as good as the quality of the brush that they produce for themselves. And the reason I think is because probably, you know, the brands want to have a lower price point so that they can mark them up really high. So honestly, I feel like you're gonna really experience the quality of these brushes if you just buy the HAKUHODO label instead of buying MAC and stuff like that. And I know some people will probably be shocked at the prices when they go on the website, because you know you'll be paying for some of the brushes like close to $100 for a single brush. If it's something that you will use all the time, and you know that it's made in a good country where people have a good standard of living, and you know people have fair working conditions, then it's worth it, I think, to pay that amount. But this is definitely not something for a beginner. These are luxury products. This is a luxury makeup brush, so I think the prices are fair for what you get. But the thing I wanted to mention is if you don't have a big budget for makeup brushes and you want to maybe just try something from them, I would recommend the smaller sort of eyeshadow brushes that they make, because they are much more affordable. You won't get that amazing, like, oh my god, this is the most amazing brush in the world feeling. Not because the brushes are lesser quality, just because there's less hair and so you can't really feel it as well, you know. But definitely if you can and you want to, like, try out the bigger brushes, because that's where you're really gonna notice like the difference. Like even this one is just incredible. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.